desire to be inspired. The desire to be inspired.
And have your circuitry rewired.
The desire.
The desire to be inspired.
And have your circuitry rewired.
The desire.
The desire to be inspired.
And have your circuitry rewired.
The desire to be inspired.
No power in the verse can stop me.
What's going on, guys? My name is Aldanero, and welcome to episode 14 of the Midnight Hour. I'm joined once again by my co-host Jack. Introduce yourself.
What's up? I don't really need introducing by now, I hope. Because if I do, then a lot of you have serious mental problems.
If you don't know who Jack is, he's like this guy who's about 7 foot tall. He's got a beard that was carved out of stone by the ancient Egyptians back in the 14th century, because that makes perfect sense. He enjoys hunting whales in his spare time, particularly the blue whale, because no challenge is big enough. And that's just what he does, and that's what he's about. So I decided to get him on my podcast because it just made sense at the time. And we've got a question for you at the start of this episode that I've just made up because it's relevant to what we're talking about. But what is your favourite movie that you've ever seen? Or even then, it doesn't have to be your favourite movie, but a movie that you're thinking about a lot lately. Like, I find it's really difficult to answer when someone asks me what my favourite movie is, and I find that it changes depending on what kind of company I'm with or what kind of mood I'm in. So, I don't know, tell us a movie that you're really enjoying, or that you've really enjoyed, or that you would like to just, tell everybody that you love. And we'll read the comments and enjoy them, because last week the comment section was fucking awesome. We couldn't believe the diversity of the episodes that people enjoyed and things like that, and it was awesome. So thanks for making this awesome. The topic we're going to talk about today was actually Jack's idea, and this is sort of how you feel you would fare if you were put into a certain scenario from a movie plot. Like, if you were the protagonist of a movie. Obviously a lot of movies have their own sort of weird internal logic where reality and normality doesn't really apply in the strictest sense. Like, there's all these rules and things that kind of stop you from doing what you would normally do, and we just want to talk about how we would deal in those situations. And the one that we're going to open with was suggested to us on our Ask FM page, which there's a link in the description to that if you guys want to go and ask us any questions or suggest any topics. There's a lot there at the moment, and we will get through it all at some point. But for now, we're just going to be taking the Groundhog Day suggestion and then coming up with our own ones as we go along. But Groundhog Day, this is the idea that you wake up on one day and you go to sleep and you wake up and it's the same day all over again, and you have to figure out what you have to do to take it to the next day. And I feel like, I don't know, like, how would you react in that situation?
I think for anyone that's seen the film will know that his reaction is pretty much, one of, what?
Yeah.
What is going on? And I think that's got to be your general reaction. It depends. If I had had enough to drink the night before, then I might not realise until a very late point in that day.
Yeah, that's actually
what was going on.
I agree with that 100%. I've had days where I've woken up after a heavy night of drinking, and it's taken me about 5 minutes to figure out what day it even is, what I did last night, things like that. So if Groundhog Day happened the day after a hangover, you'd be in a pretty bad state, I think, to deal with it. Like, you'd never get back to reality.
No. But yeah, I think general confusion, a little bit of fear, seeing as I'm assuming that I'm like I am now, and I'm aware that this is a movie and that I'm suddenly stuck in a plot from a movie, and I would be incredibly confused.
You know what I'd do after it'd probably take you like about 7 of these days before you get to grips with what's going on around you, if not more than that. But I feel like I'd have a lot of fun with it, and I'd remember things that happened. Like, I know for a fact, I would go into a bookies, find out what dogs are racing that day, and I'd work up enough cash so that I can just have the best day ever. And obviously you're just going to wake up in the exact same scenario again. It's actually kind of weirdly serene, in the sense that nothing you do has any real consequence, because the next day it's going to start all over again, and there's a lot of ways that you could fuck around with that and have your own like, you know, create your own virtual reality game that lasts 24 hours of pretty much normality, and you just get to fuck with it in whatever way you see fit, and that sort of seems pretty cool to me.
Yeah, I think what would worry me a lot is that, you know, I don't know that there's something that I've got to do. You know, I won't be thinking straight enough to think there's definitely something I need to do to fix this.
Yeah.
And I'd be worried that if I did something really radical, like killing someone, you know, just for whatever reason, even if I did it by accident, that I'd wake up and it would be the next day and there'd be 100 police officers surrounding me.
Yeah, that's true.
And I'd kind of be like, shit.
You have to assume that because this is happening, there's obviously a greater force at work here, and that the universe is strictly centered around you at this particular moment. So if you did anything wrong, it could just be that the universe just wants to fuck with you that day. Like, that's how I would look at it, honestly. You've got all this sort of existentialism that's kind of, you know, confined in the midst of this, that you just wouldn't really understand, that you have to go on some sort of moral quest in order to break this spell. And that seems really weird to me, that I don't actually think that what happened in the movie would happen in real life. I think it would be a completely different and much darker scenario, because humans aren't really equipped to deal with something as bizarre and, you know, strange as that. But I think I'd be looking for ways to abuse it for monetary gain, just because that's you know, seems like the safest bet. Plus, you don't have any bills to pay either, so that's kind of cool.
See, when you said, I've just remembered, I saw an advert earlier today on I can't remember what TV channel it was, but it was for a program I think was called How to Go Broke in 24 Hours, and the basic concept, as far as I can tell, is these people are given like a certain amount of money, and they've got to do things in a 24-hour period that will just waste the cash, and they can't like buy cars and extravagant, you know, they can't buy things. They've got to do things with the money.
Oh wow! And
they can't just like give it away, but they've got to go broke in 24 hours. And then I think, you know, if you get into the bookies, you know, get as much money as you can by, say, you know, like 4 p.m, and then spend the rest of the point up to midnight going mad and doing some mad stuff.
Yeah, that's exactly
what
I'd be doing.
That'd be fantastic.
That would be. I could live like that for a good month, I'd say, before it gets boring.
Yeah, before you start getting bored of repeating the same conversations and, you know, repeating the same small things when they start to drive you crazy.
Can you imagine how good your social skills would be when you came out of that? Because, like, let's say you see a girl that you liked and you tried talking to her. Like, I would be determined to get the right day, the right speech, everything perfect, so that I could, you know, win her over, like get a date or whatever. Yeah. That's something that...
And I mean, all you'd have to do is, say one day you go up to her and you basically find out everything about her, and then all you have to do the next day is just appeal to those likes and dislikes.
Yeah, exactly.
And as long as you don't do it in a weird way, like, then you're grand, you know, you're fine. You're in.
You know that Reddit, there's like a, I don't know, is it a subreddit, or it's a big thread on Reddit that's...
I think I know exactly which one you're talking about. Is it the one, it's about secrets that people have that would ruin their lives?
Yeah.
And one of my favourite ones, which I think is the one that you're talking about, correct me if I'm wrong, but the comment was, I babysat, or I was dog sitting for my next door neighbour when I was younger, and I found the daughter's diary who I had a crush on.
Yeah.
And I read through her diary and used everything I learnt about her from her diary to get her to like me, and we're now married.
Yeah, that's the one. You get me.
And I remember reading that, and there was the top comment, or the most upvoted reply to that comment was something like, "This is the juiciest thing because it's not ridiculously extravagant, but it's something I could see myself doing."
Yeah. And
it's so true.
Yeah, and it's even like, is it actually wrong if he has made her happy all that time? Like, you know, has he really done anything really wrong there?
I think invasion of privacy is a big thing there. You know, privacy is something that people value, and especially something like a diary where you put your innermost thoughts are coming out, not to, like, you can't. If he like had said, say he had read her Twitter feed, say, and used the stuff that he found there to get her to like him, then fair game, that's public access. But a diary seems so much more personal.
Yeah, that's true.
You know, and I feel like that violation of privacy is a big thing. But I suppose as soon as he's kind of got in the door, as it were, I'm not sure where that point ends, and then it kind of becomes, you know, they've got this solid relationship.
Yeah.
At a certain point, you know.
Plus, the NSA has already read it all anyway.
Yeah,
and,
yeah.
You know, she trusts the government, so why shouldn't she trust this guy? But speaking of mass surveillance, it's not going to work, right? But the next movie is The Matrix that we're going to talk about, and this, everybody knows what The Matrix is. It came out in 1999. It's one of the most important movies ever made. It's the only movie that Keanu Reeves has ever been in where being Keanu Reeves worked for him. Actually, no, I suppose Speed was pretty good because he just had to play dumb for most of that as well. That seemed to work.
That's true.
But yeah, Keanu Reeves is an office worker by day and a mysterious hacker going by the code name Neo by night. He's a really gifted computer programmer or something like that. It was 1999, so he could have just been the guy who made MySpace profile pages for other people. Who knows? But he's in his office one day, and there's some agents that look like Hugo Weaving who are chasing him, and they catch him, and they put a bug into him inside his stomach, which is one of the horrible scenes of the movie. It's so hard to watch that when the bug goes into his belly button. It makes me wince.
Yeah.
But I love when Hugo Weaving is like, what use is a phone call, Mr. Anderson, if you've got no mouth, or if you can't talk, or whatever it is that he says. Clearly I don't like it.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, this mysterious man named Morpheus comes to Neo one day and offers him a choice. He shows him the true reality. He shows him that everything he's part of is essentially a simulation controlled by external forces, and he offers him a choice: the blue pill or the red pill. The blue pill sends him back to normality, well, quote, normality, unquote.
Normality, yeah.
The his ordinary life, as it were. Everything he knows will stay the same. He'll have no memory of what happened, or maybe he will. I can't remember that either. But
no, I think it was no memory, because it was kind of the ignorance is bliss pill.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
That's as far as I remember it.
And the red pill opens his eyes to the true nature of reality and everything going on, and it basically gives him a front seat to a war that's going on in a place that we don't even know exists. Taking the red pill brings him into the Matrix. Well, out of the Matrix. Yeah, isn't that right?
Out of the Matrix.
Yeah. It is, yeah.
Yeah, out of the Matrix and into the real
world. Because the Matrix
world.
Is everything.
Yeah.
And yeah, it brings him to this dark place where humanity is pretty much very close to extinction, and it's a very bleak yet incredible movie. It's probably one of my favorite. It is one of my favorite movies of all time. It's one of the most important movies ever made. If you haven't seen it, like, just sort your fucking life out. Yeah, what would you do? I guess Neo is kind of Morpheus believes he's got a destiny, and his destiny is to lead the humans in the resistance against the machine. No, that's Terminator. His destiny is to lead the humans in their quest for power and supremacy in the external world once again. And I don't know, I suppose the easiest way to put this question forward is, I remember I asked you this on a previous episode.
And I've realised that I kind of do have to answer it now.
Yeah, you do. Yeah, you have no choice.
No.
So, do you take the blue pill or the red pill?
See, in reality, the idea of going and being the fore leader in a war, that's kind of terrifying in reality.
I've had better offers.
Yeah, I've had better offers, like do you want ketchup or mayo?
Yeah, or when you wake up,
I've had easier decisions to make.
Every morning when you wake up and you have that lingering question in the back of your brain: do I want to join the army? Yeah, do I want to go to war today? Nah,
do I want to join the revolution? Do I want to join the revolution in a world I didn't know existed?
It's a tough one.
But I mean, film me would obviously take the red pill and just dive headfirst into being a super badass.
Yeah.
In reality, I think to be honest, knowing myself as badly as I do, I think I'd take the red pill.
That's the one that sends you to the...
Yeah.
You think you'd take it?
Yeah. My ego wouldn't allow me not to become the leader of the revolution. I genuinely think so.
Yeah.
What about you?
I agree. But this is something that I think is really dependent on your personality type, and I like things that what's the word for it? You know, like, I love watching shows about the universe and distant stars and how fragile we really are and how meaningless everything really is, like the pale blue dot, that whole thing. And I consider myself to be some sort of an existentialist on some level, and I just think that if I was filled with this knowledge, this information about what's going on, I would absolutely have to witness it, because like, as weird as this sounds, like, reality's quite boring. Like, there's a reason I like movies and books and music as much as I do. Like, I like the idea of there being more to what we see, and for that reason, I would not be able to reject the opportunity to, like, even if I was told that I had to go and lead this war or whatever, like, I know the type of person I am. I'm the type of person who'll say I'll do something that I can't do and worry about that afterwards, you know what I mean? Like, life is like a job interview to me. Like, when they say to you in a job interview, like, how are your communication skills? And I'll just be like, oh yeah, they're brilliant, like, I'm immaculate, I'm able to communicate with anyone. But in reality, someone asks me a question and I tell them to fuck off. But I'll worry about that later, I'll work on that after. I think I'm like that, and
yeah, I think if he gave me the decision and said, you've got like a minute to choose, go, my snap decision would be red pill.
Yeah.
If I was given, he says, take it away, I'll come back to you in a week, see what you have to say.
That's the worst thing that could happen.
Blue pill. I'd pussy out. I know it. Snap decision. I'd do it.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, because
given time to think about the genuine consequences for longer than about 10 seconds, and it's a no.
What I'd do is, he'd say go off and think about it. I'd go straight to the pub. I'd drink a pint and I'd just be like, I need this taste in my life. And like, I'd eat a Subway and I'd be like, I don't want to live in a world where this isn't a thing. You know, it'd be too hard. So I have a tendency to always go with my gut anyways, because I find that you'll just disappoint yourself if you don't. I'd have to take the red pill, even just to witness the atrocities, just to witness the darkness and the get a grip of a look behind the door, a peek behind the curtain. I would have to do that. I'd have to check it. I'd have to see what was going on behind there.
Saying this, I don't feel I'd do very well or last very long.
Yeah, no, me neither.
But while I was there, I'm sure it'd be a hell of a time.
Yeah. if it was like you go there and you fight this enemy you didn't know existed, but you do it while holding a controller in your hand, I'm your man. Like, I'll do it. I'll fuck them up. It might take me a few goes. I might have to die and respawn a few times along the way, but I'll do it, man. I'm there. But it's a pretty terrifying concept, I suppose.
Yeah, the longer I'm thinking about it, the more I'm thinking that taking the red pill would be an awful decision.
Yeah, as soon as I mentioned Subway, my mind was made up.
Yeah.
Blue pill all the way. But speaking of getting your memory wiped by the next movie that we're going to talk about is Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. And by the way, if we didn't make this clear enough, watch watch most of the movies on this list. We'll tell you what ones not to watch. But Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind is a movie where Jim Carrey and Kate Winslet, they have a relationship. There's no spoilers, by the way. We're not going to spoil anything in this.
Or try not to.
Yeah. But essentially Jim Carrey and Kate Winslet form a relationship. Jim Carrey plays an actual person in this movie. He doesn't play Jim Carrey with his that kind of Jim Carrey character that's tired. Yeah. He did what Adam Sandler should have done, in that he discovered that there were other movies to make, and so they fall in love and etc. And something sours the relationship. We're not told specifically what, but what we are told is that Kate Winslet has wiped her memory of Jim Carrey, and then he is faced with the question of whether he should keep trying to win her over again, or if he should just wipe his own memory of her, because it hurts too much to be treated like a stranger by the woman that you loved for so long. And that's a pretty good enough synopsis, isn't it?
That's fairly good enough. Yeah, like you were saying, if you hadn't seen Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind, you'd be forgiven for thinking that Jim Carrey is not an awful actor, but not a decent actor to say the least. But
A limited
I'd say
one,
that.
I'll say.
Yeah, I'd say Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind shows that he's got some fairly decent acting chops.
Oh, for sure, yeah. He's
Yeah.
awesome in that movie.
Mm.
It's one of my favourites, that movie too.
So the question, I guess, is: do you live with the knowledge that the person that you love has wiped you completely
Yeah.
from their memory, and they've completely destroyed all knowledge and memory of you?
Yeah.
Or do you live with that and try and get back with them, or do you kind of do the same to them?
Yeah.
And I think this is another kind of snap, like the kind of same thing I was saying about the Matrix, like this kind of snap judgment thing. My snap judgment would be anger, because there's levels of, not quite betrayal, but there's levels of I'm struggling to think of the word, but I suppose betrayal will be the best thing. I suppose having the person that you love wipe you from their memory is like a betrayal, I suppose.
It is, yeah.
I'm struggling to find a different word, the correct word for it, but I suppose it's a fairly unique circumstance.
Yeah, it is, yeah. What's that word for when your girlfriend wipes her memory of you?
Yeah. But I think like the snap judgment, the anger, the hurt, and the betrayal would kind of push me towards, doing the same. Kind of push it. It would really, this kind of snap judgment, the immediate reaction would kind of push me towards doing the same, because I don't want to deal with the knowledge that I've done something, I've possibly done something so bad that this was their only option, as it were.
Yeah.
But then again, the longer that I'd think about it, I think it would, because I know, like we were saying just a minute ago about Groundhog Day and knowing what they like and what they don't like, and that's another thing. Like, you can appeal to all of that.
Yeah.
And it's like you've got the key for the door. You just need to, turn it, basically.
Yeah, pretty much.
If that makes sense.
Yeah, you just need to pull the right strings.
Yeah, they've loved you once, and they can love you again now that you've been eliminated from their memory, as it were.
Yeah.
So, I suppose the kind of, as long as I didn't get it done straight away, I think I'd be willing to kind of work through it.
Yeah. I've always known the answer to this question, because like, I don't know if I'm about to start quoting like a Bullet for My Valentine song here or whatever, but like, I've experienced a really, really bad breakup, and I know what it feels like, and I think I'm a very, very unforgiving person, in that, like, I've been fucked over enough times to know that if someone does it to me again, like, that's the end of them. They're out of my life, and that's that.
Yeah.
And I'm quite stubborn as well, and I just feel like if that happened to me, the sense of betrayal, like you were talking about, and the sense of hurt and everything, that I've done something, or else this person has taken something that I've done and interpreted their own way from it, that I shouldn't be in their life anymore, so they got rid of the memory of me completely from their brains, then they can go fuck themselves, and I wouldn't get my memory erased, because I'd be too afraid of making the exact same mistake again and going through the exact same feeling again. So for me, it's just a case of like, okay, then fuck you, I don't ever want to speak to you again, or whatever. Or else like, I'm a cunt, so I'd probably just remember all the things that she hates and start somehow, bringing that into her life.
Introduce them into her life.
Yeah, like, she hates spiders, I'll send her a box of spiders in the post. Stuff like that,
Real petty revenge kind of stuff.
Yeah, I'm not even about revenge, but I kind of feel like it's such a cunty thing to do to someone, in this reality where it's possible. But there's nobody, like, there's a lot of people that I don't like and that I have to spend time with, even though I don't like them or whatever, but there's nobody that I want to erase the memory of, because there's nobody that I want to experience the same thing again. Like, what's it worth putting your body through that, like, stress hurts your body, it has an effect in the long run, and it's just not healthy. I don't think it's just not a healthy thing to experience more than once. Like, you take your experiences and you learn from them, and then you live with them, but you know what to do the next time, and you're richer for the experience, and that's just the way that I'd look at it.
Yeah. I've also had a bad breakup. Probably not. I don't really know where it would pale on the scale of things, but it wasn't great. And would I want to erase the memory of the breakup and the bad stuff? Yeah. There was a lot of good stuff though. Like, and would I want to erase all the good stuff just for the smaller amount of bad stuff, no matter how bad it was?
I think
maybe not. Like I do kind of not completely, but I do subscribe to the idea that the your experiences build you as a person, and they are your experiences and your memories kind of make you who you are.
Yeah. That's like my mantra. Like that's a philosophy that I live by. Like I really believe in that. And I think like what you were saying about there was some good stuff. Like for me, there is no good stuff because it's all being tainted by how it ended and what happened.
Yeah.
But at the same time, the bad stuff is nothing bad that happens to you is worth living twice. Even if you don't remember it, it still takes its toll on you. Like
Yeah.
And that's just for that reason. I'd just be like, nah, fuck it. I just get on, like, put my head down and move on with my life and find someone who wouldn't want to erase me from their life.
Yeah, but I mean, I think when it comes down to it, I probably wouldn't erase the person in return. But I don't think that I don't know. Depending on the circumstance, I don't know whether I'd use what I know about them and their lack of memory of me to get back with them, or whether I'd just move on and take the experiences as a life event,
Yeah, that is, like, I probably wouldn't go down the petty revenge route. Like, I'd maybe do one thing just for the rush.
Satisfaction.
Yeah, just to get it over and done with, and then move on, because, I don't know. I'd like to think I wouldn't, but, I'm thinking about a fictional universe here where anything is really possible. But, shall we move on to the next one?
Yeah, sure.
Speaking of Japanese school kids on an island, the next movie we're going to talk about, or the next scenario that we're going to talk about rather, is from Battle Royale. And this movie, it's a foreign movie, it's Japanese, like I mentioned. Like, how do you go about this? Like, what would your tactic be?
I mean, assuming, like you said, that some of the other kids have got like firearms and shotguns and stuff. Yep. I mean, if you've got a shotgun, you can go loud, you can go easy. It doesn't matter if someone hears you coming from 20 feet away because you're 20 feet away, but you've got a shotgun. Yeah. It's a widespread, and I don't. Unlike Call of Duty, which had you believe that a shotgun's blast can range from just in front of you to about 10 feet away.
Yeah, that's all.
That's not true.
Yeah. No, you can't ever shoot someone 11 feet away with a shotgun.
No, yeah. The bullets just stop. Yeah, like in the Matrix, they just stop and fall to the ground.
Yeah, it's crazy.
But yeah, like I mean, you'd have a longer range. You kind of the shotguns would be quite easy, but a sword is very brutal, and because not only do you have to kind of sneak up on people, you've got to get within touching distance.
Yeah.
Of them, and like I'm not sure if I'm able, even under the threat of my own survival, obviously being in part of it would be a different actual circumstance.
Yeah, very true.
Thinking about it now, I'm not sure, even under the threat of my own life, I'd be able to look into someone's eyes or be able to kind of feel touch their skin or see their face or whatever, and kill them,
especially someone you went to school with.
Yeah, exactly.
Although I'd probably find it a lot easier because I hated most of the people I went to school with. But the villain in that movie, by the way, is one of the most badass villains. Like I'm gonna watch that movie as soon as we're done here. But yeah, it's really tough. I think like there's a scene in it that's pretty powerful, and this isn't spoilers. This happens in the opening 25 minutes or so. But it shows like the sun is going down, and there's just two people hanging off a tree or whatever because they just decided to just back out. Like they backed out of the lobby. They didn't want to fight in that one, and they just decided to take the easy way out, as it were. Because I think in this case that is the easy way out. And I often wonder, like, would I be one of them, or would I just sort of, see what happens? Like, I'd be much more inclined to see where it takes me and just hope that somebody shoots me, because I don't think I have it in me to win it. Like, you have to kill, like, a good few people in order to survive it, and it's kind of crazy that way. It's actually really hard to come up with a legitimate strategy for this, especially because you can't just hide out because the zone's closed off.
Yeah, I mean, the initial response, probably a good initial response would just be to leg it as far away from everybody else as possible.
Yeah.
Get as far away from everybody else, and then kind of get your things together, deal with potential then kind of once you're away from everybody else and you're not under direct threat of instantaneous death, kind of start to plan defences or traps, or my knowledge of jungle traps and the beach-based and sand-based traps is very limited, so I'm not sure how well I could do with that
just
one.
Pick up lumps of sand and throw it in the person's eyes and run away.
Pocket sand.
They never expect the pockets.
Yeah.
It's really it's such a great movie though. It's such a hard thing to try and plan around. I always think about it when I watch the movie, how I'd react in certain situations, and I think that's why it's so good, is that a lot of the things that happen to the protagonists are sort of the way that you would do it yourself, mostly. It just takes, I don't know, I guess it would change your frame of mind anyway, because you're wired to survive in that instance, but I don't know, I wouldn't win it. I'm fairly sure of that. I wouldn't win it. I'm not resourceful in any way. I'm not equipped to deal with anything that isn't, a keyboard and a mouse. So it would just be another world of terror for me, pretty much. I'd just try and spend the last couple of days, having as much fun as is physically possible when you're being hunted down by several people from unknown angles. That's kind of the only way I can look at it. Yeah,
I think the best thing is, say you're given a sword, it's kind of getting up into the treetops and attack from above.
Yeah,
because that's your best attempt. Or get people while they're sleeping.
Yeah, that would actually be that's one thing about me that I'm really good at, is staying awake all night. So I think if I could find someone while they were, but no one would be asleep when you think about it.
No, the adrenaline boost would keep you awake for hours at least, to start with.
Yeah, and you'd be sort of in the frame of mind where even when you're trying to sleep, you're still awake. You know what I mean? You're not properly out. But
I think it'd just be a case of keep moving, don't stop to rest, and you'll stay awake even no matter how slowly you're moving.
Yeah.
You'll still be awake.
Yeah, that is pretty much what it'd be.
Although saying that, I'd probably get so tired I'd fall over and impale myself on my own sword. So fun knows where my strategy's going in.
That would be the greatest. Not for you, obviously, but just if I was watching a movie and that happened, that'd be pretty good. I don't know. It's a tough one. We'll move on to the next one, because speaking of environments where you're being attacked from all angles by people trying to kill you, yes, boom, successful segue. Zombie apocalypse. We sort of briefly touched on this in the question and answer episode 10 that we did, and this will be a little bit different, I think. Should we take one movie and just roll with that and play that one out and see how it works? Which one do you want to go with?
I don't know, because the big difference is one of them a certain type of zombie makes it a hell of a lot easier to survive.
Yeah, and for some reason, the type of movie it is also makes it easier. If it's if it's Night of the Living Dead, it's scary. They are slow zombies, but it's really terrifying, and they'll probably kill you. But if it's Zombieland, they're slow zombies, but you'll probably fuck them all up because it's a comedy, and that makes sense.
Or if it's Shaun of the Dead, as long as you can make some quick puns or a couple of quips and jump over a fence and fall over, dandy, you're fine.
And eat a cornet.
Or if they're say 28 days later,
you're fucked if it's 28 days later.
Yeah. And kind of World War Z as well.
World War Z is the most difficult one. That's the one that most people would die in that one. The zombies are superhuman essentially in that. It's
and they still seem to have the brain not quite the brain function of humans.
No, more like a predator.
A basic instinct. Kind of basic instincts. I think, or it's like the I Am Legend kind of zombie we've got. I suppose you could suppose those are best called zombies. I wouldn't know what else really to call them.
Zompires, something like that. Because they're afraid of light, aren't they?
Yeah, but those are a whole other beast altogether. Because those are even more kind of got human cognitive thought. Because they set up traps and shit as well.
Yeah, and the 28 days later ones are just humans infected with rage.
Yeah.
Let's say Dawn of the Dead. Was it George A. Romero did Dawn of the Dead? In the year 2002 something. You can tell it's the early 2000s because
Yeah.
Disturbed is the soundtrack to it, and no movie relevant today would have Disturbed and fucking David Draymond's vocals as the lead fucking track on their movie. But Dawn of the Dead is fast zombies, and other than that, it's a pretty normal zombie movie. They just made the zombies fast, so they can run really fast, and it's a tough one. That one, I think I really like what they did in Dawn of the Dead, where they went to like a supermarket and they went to the roof of it eventually, and they communicated with a guy across the way. They had a bit of fun killing zombies, and they seem to have the right idea in that movie, I think. I'd do something like that. You want to find other people. That's pretty much the key in a zombie movie.
Yeah, I think safety in numbers is a big thing there.
Yeah, it is. The more eyes you have on the enemy, the better, because...
And also the more potential, if you do get attacked, the more, the less potential for you to be the one.
Yeah, exactly. And as well as that, if you're in a supermarket, you've got supplies all around you. So I think that would be my plan for that, is just, get somewhere where there's a lot of people, find a way. Like, you gotta have weapons as well. That's pretty much a staple in the zombie type thing.
Yeah.
They should really make a zombie apocalypse movie where nobody has any guns. Like, don't set it in America. Set it in a normal country. Like, set it in a country where you don't get firearms and lucky bags. I'm just kidding, Americans. That was a joke I made. But like, imagine a zombie apocalypse movie set in England.
So imagine a zombie movie set in rural Dorset.
Yeah. I know I decided not to talk about 28 Days Later, but that's pretty much set in England.
Yeah. Yeah, but then they already had the military involved before.
Yeah.
Well, not before, but the military was involved almost immediately.
Yeah, and the scarier thing about the 28 Days Later one is not even the people with rage, it's the fact that all soldiers are rapists. Like, that was the weirdest scene in that whole movie. Like, do you not have anything else to be looking out for right now?
Like, suddenly everybody just becomes like the most opportunist rapist in the world.
Yeah. It's ridiculous. Like, that's not even a thing. Like, of the types of rape that there are, that's not one of them. Like, it's such a stupid fucking thing in that movie. I love that movie. I really don't like the last 45 minutes of it or so. Like, the rest of it is awesome. One thing I loved about that movie, like talking about how we would react to things, when Cillian Murphy wakes up at the very start, he does a thing that nobody in any horror movie or whatever has ever done, in that he wakes up, he clearly realizes that something is awry, something's not quite right here, and he sees a vending machine and he fucking raids it for everything that's in it. That's just what anyone else would do. But in other movies you see people wasting resources like that, walking past things that you can take for free. Like, why? You know what I mean? It's ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean, like the whole idea of being able to like kind of a grab and loot. Well, smash and grab, that's what I was looking for. Grab and loot.
Grab and loot. It's the 1982 classic movie.
It's kind of loot anything you want and have anything that you need to defend yourself would be a great resource. Like DIY stores would be a great start to as well as supermarkets. Find an industrial estate with an Asda and a fucking B&Q, and you're pretty much set, really. Yeah,
that's my cousin Dara. I think every time I've been asked this question, I always say I'd go to Dara's house. And one reason that his house is more appealing than anything else is because he used to live in America, and he brought back a fucking metal baseball bat. And
nice.
you don't know what it's like to have power until you're holding a metal baseball bat in your hand. Trust me. Like, I have a sword, like an actual sword.
Yeah.
Is a real sword. It'll fuck someone up. But holding a baseball bat is the greatest feeling that anyone could ever have, and that's what I'd be looking for in the zombie apocalypse. Like, because not everybody has a gun in Ireland, so it's not like you can just go and find a shotgun in the back of a fucking Hummer, and you know what I mean. That's not likely.
You want to be able to utilize something that's not only lightweight but mobile, and it can do some damage.
Yeah.
Especially to the brain, the head and the brain.
Exactly.
That's where you want to be aiming.
Yeah, that's where you have to go.
But yeah, I definitely think that height, like a height advantage, is a big thing.
Yeah, for sure.
Somewhere, maybe not an apartment building, but something that's kind of higher up. Because if you're off the ground, if you say you're on top of the building, There's less chance of zombies spotting you.
Yeah.
You know, sounds that you make won't maybe, you know, reach the ground. You've got like one entrance to block, and it's a narrow staircase most likely.
Yeah, that's another
you know,
thing.
Like, take your life up to the top floor of a tall building. You know.
What?
Narrow stairways, narrow corridors. That's what you need.
What's the movie where somebody does utilize a narrow stairway to fight off a herd of zombies? Was it in? Could have been The Walking Dead, but I don't think it was. I remember I saw it recently, and I thought, like, yes, finally, a zombie movie that does
some
this.
common sense. Yeah.
Which was that's something that you want to do as well. Like, you need, it's all about where you are. If you're in a castle or just any building that has a moat, that's you're pretty much sorted.
Yeah.
Like, just get a moat and then you're,
just bring up the drawbridge and you're fine.
yeah, you're sound. Right, so I can't even jokingly segue to this next one. This is going to be a little bit difficult to describe, I think, or to hypothesize on. But Law Abiding Citizen is a movie that I wouldn't really recommend seeing. It's a great movie because Jared Butler is in it, and his American accent is incredible, because even though he's an American, no references are made to him being Scottish. He still just talks with a Scottish accent, and that's incredible to me. That's so ballsy. Like, no one else would get away with that but Jared Butler. It's like, you know, like, you set me free, or what? Or I kill everybody. But so in this movie, everybody really knows the premise of this, don't they? His wife and daughter get killed, and he goes after the people who did it, and you know, he faces jail time, and it's all about whether or not the system works. It's a really lazy attempted criticism of the prison system, really.
Yeah, and a bit of vigilante justice as well.
Yeah, so I guess the whole part that we're talking about here, the basis of this part of the discussion, is about vigilante justice and what do you do, and would you follow the Jared Butler path, if, like, and we have to assume that it's in your capabilities to do so. He was clearly a very, very skilled individual and not the type of guy they should have fucked with. So let's say you are that guy, but like, you are that guy, you kill blue whales regularly, so this is nothing to you. Do you do it, or do you seek legitimate means to bring them down?
Well, I mean, the legitimate means that are sought in the film are, you know, they do fail him.
Yeah.
They do fail him completely. You know, they end up asking for a plea bargain, don't they? And getting off with, you know, something ridiculous that they never should have. And yeah, that really angers me. And if it was my wife and child, yeah, I'd be absolutely distraught. But could I go to the lengths that Jared Butler does in the film? No.
Nah.
I'm not a complete psychopath.
Yeah, I couldn't either. It's ridiculous.
You know,
no fucking person would do it. It's just, I shouldn't have even mentioned this because it's a ridiculous discussion to be having. Like, there's no way anybody would do it. Like,
in terms of, like,
you'd write a book about it. You know, you'd appear on a few chat shows venting your anger, and you'd collect a nice paycheck, but it would never ever bring back your family, and that's just something that you have to live with, because that's how the world works. Like, you're not gonna go fucking investing in all the. You're not gonna become the Punisher. You know what I mean? Like, that's just not what happens.
Yeah. Like, I mean, I like the idea of vigilante justice, and you know, you see like, you can see videos of like courtrooms in America where the son or the father of the victim, like, just beats the ever living shit out of the perpetrator, and it's just so good to watch. And you know, it's like so satisfying just in your soul. You know, it's right. I
actually I don't like vigilante justice. Like, I honestly don't like. But that's I don't know if it's because I'm like super fucking liberal, or I have this misguided faith in the system or whatever. But I just don't think it's. I think that in an event like that, even though it's personal and everything like that, you just have to preserve your empathy. Like, you know, outrage doesn't really get you anywhere in life with anything. You know, but it's obviously a completely extreme situation where you've just, you know, your whole family is just being eviscerated by some people with I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, like, the kind of vigilante justice I'm thinking of is not like someone gets beaten up, so they grab a bunch of their mates and go beat the other person up. I'm thinking more like the stories you hear of, like, I remember one, the guy's daughter was the guy's like young daughter was raped by this guy, and he basically killed the guy, like beat him to death with his bare hands, and the guy, the father that beat up his young daughter's rapist, didn't get any jail time for it.
Yeah.
Because it was like
it's
compassion or something like that.
That would be like manslaughter / like not self-defense, but that line of.
Yeah, that's what it was in line with, and he didn't get any jail time for it. I think he had to do some community service or something. But that's the kind of thing that, it's such a horrible crime against a child.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's
and then
really.
That's justified in my mind.
Yeah, I think it would have been better. Like in my mind, a better scenario would be the guy gets beaten to within an inch of his life, but then he still has to go to prison for the rest of his life. I'd rather that, just because, he gets to die now, and that's it. He doesn't have to face the consequences. So.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah, but. Yeah, it's kind of. I don't think there's anything on this planet that would send me down the Jared Butler route of revenge. Really.
No, yeah.
Like, although sometimes people retweet Piers Morgan onto my timeline, and I get I sort of see where Jared Butler's coming from. But,
I know exactly what you mean.
Yeah, but I don't know. It's one of those things. I guess along the line of gruesome deaths and things, the Saw franchise. I guess how would we even sort of bring this up? Like, the Jigsaw killer is the guy in Saw, the bad guy. He's like a puppet master. He orchestrates these ridiculous situations in order to test the victim's morality. And it's sort of a really weird thing. In the opening one, well, the first movie, which is the only one you should really watch, it starts off with two people in a room. One of them is chained to some pipes, and he can't get out or anything, and he's sort of faced with this thing at the end of it where the two of them have to kill each other. Isn't that right? He has to kill the other guy or whatever, but he has to saw his leg off if he wants to get out. And it's the thing about this is that, like, it's stupid because he's within touching distance of his phone, but he just can't reach it. But it's like all you have to do is just like fucking take off your shoe, take off your shirt, and just like lasso it over,
swing it,
and
lasso it, yeah,
and then you have your phone. Like, that's what I would do in that scenario.
Yeah.
Like, and then that's it. You just answer the phone, you phone the police, you do whatever, and then that's it. Like,
no,
I don't know. That whole, like, let's say you can't do that. Would you saw your leg off to get free and save your family?
Could I saw my own leg off?
Yeah, see, I can't.
Like,
I did woodwork, and I couldn't even saw like a piece of 2x4. Like, there's no way I'd be willing to saw through my own, like.
Yeah, like, I think that women, plucking individual hairs out of their own foreheads is ridiculous. I'm not going to saw my own leg off.
Yeah.
I wouldn't pluck hairs out of my forehead. Why would I saw my own leg off? And it's like, does he even attempt to saw through the chain?
Yeah, I think so.
Or he just tries it for like 2 seconds and goes, nope.
Yeah, he does, yeah.
And it's like, what?
Yeah, well,
give it a proper try.
Even if he flips the saw around, the saw is a good enough lasso for the phone.
Yeah.
Like, it's so stupid. It's such a good movie, but you have to just understand that it takes place in a universe where nobody has a fucking brain. Obviously, you're under certain, like, you're not going to be thinking as rationally as possible because of the drastic situation that you're faced with. But, like, for fuck's sake, if your life depends on grabbing a phone, or at least your family's life depends on grabbing a phone, you will grab that phone. That's just...
I feel like it'd be easier even if he stood up, got ready, and just did like a diving jump towards the phone.
Yeah.
You might break your ankle because it's attached to a pipe. You might break the pipe.
Yeah.
You
might impale yourself on your own sword.
Yeah. Don't go straight for sawing your own foot off.
Yeah.
That's not your go-to move.
What's the
in this situation?
Oh, is it Scary Movie 4 where he saws his leg off and then
and he saws the wrong one?
Yeah.
Yeah. I was just thinking.
That's so funny, man. So the Scary Movie movies had their moments.
Yeah, they did. They really did. But I don't understand. I can't reason with his logic of my go-to move isn't trying to break my own ankle and just manipulate my foot out of the chain, or trying to dive for the phone or anything of this.
Yeah.
Your go-to thought shouldn't be saw my own foot off then.
Fuck it.
You know, yeah.
It's like you know, it's kind of a testament to how well made the movie is that you don't really pick up on that the first time.
No, yeah.
Like
you just kind of sit there entertained, going, "Yeah, do it, saw your own foot off, yeah." And then it's only afterwards where you kind of go, "Hang on a minute."
It's actually a great movie. Like it's the best Saw movie by far, and does that fall under the category of horror? I guess it does, doesn't it? Cause it's gruesome.
Yeah.
It's one of the best horror movies.
Horror gore, yeah.
Yeah. It's a great movie. The next one is going to be really hard to. Right, this is Roland Emmerich's movie from 2003, maybe. The Day After Tomorrow, and it's really hard to sort of summarize what happens here. But basically, the worst things that could happen to humanity right now all revolve around sort of things like climate change, like nuclear war aside, things that can happen to the planet itself. It all happens at once. Global warming, like it's basically what's going to happen over the next few thousand years. All happens in about 4 hours, and the planet heats up and then just goes into an ice age, pretty much. And it's visually, I really like The Day After Tomorrow. I love that scene with the tidal wave going through New York and the barge like sailing through New York. I thought that was really cool. But I suppose you're Jake Gyllenhaal in this scenario. I think he did everything right in what he did in it.
Yeah.
He, for those who haven't seen it, he's on like a field trip in New York City, and his dad is Dennis Quaid, and he's in somewhere else in America. And he phones Jake Gyllenhaal at some point as it's about to get cold, and he's like, "It's going to get a lot colder. Stay where you are. I will come for you." Which again is just a fucking stupid thing in the movie. Is that what's going to happen when you get there? Like, is the bond between father and son going to be so strong that the storm just relinquishes it? Like, no, shut up. Stay where you are, Dennis Quaid. You fucking triangular face moron.
Live it out wherever the fuck you are. Like, you'll be reunited if you both make it. Like,
and he walked to New York, and one of his friends died on the way. Spoiler alert, by the way. That is a spoiler. But it's like one of your friends died just so that you could make an unnecessary trip, and then I'm not going to ruin it, but you know.
I know exactly what your complaint is, because you know, and you know, died almost meaningless death in there.
Exactly.
It's like I don't want to spoil the end of the film The Mist, because it's such a fantastic film.
Yeah, it's amazing. 10 out of 10. The only movie I've ever given 10 out of 10 to on IMDb is The Mist.
So the end of The Mist is one of my favourite endings to a film because of what it is. Like, do you know what I'm without giving any spoilers away? Do you understand why I'm saying that?
Yeah.
Do you understand where I'm coming from? Because it was just so. I don't know how to put it into words without spoiling it, but it was so. It was there. It was a thing that happened.
It was an M. Night Shyamalan movie, though, wasn't it?
It was.
That's just his thing. Like,
yeah.
You know, he peaked with The Sixth Sense, and I really enjoyed Signs, but a lot of people don't agree with me because of the ending of that as well. But The Mist, he sort of did whatever the opposite of peaking is.
Wait, hang on. The Mist wasn't even a M. Night Shyamalan film.
Oh, really?
Good God.
Wow. Was it his brother?
No.
Was it O. Night Shyamalan?
Frank Darabont.
Wow. It's a very...
Shawshank Redemption, The Green Mile.
Oh my God.
He might have just been a producer on that, though.
Yeah.
Hang on, let me check. I need to check. No, he was a director.
Oh my God.
Well, that is...
It's interesting, though, how someone can direct one of the greatest movies of all time and one of the worst movies of all time. So
yeah.
That's a shout out to that guy. That's really good.
Yeah. Well done.
Yeah, we love
Frank. hitting both ends of the scale with that one, really.
Yeah, but The Day After Tomorrow, I guess. What do you do? Like, I would just do what Gyllenhaal did.
What Jake Gyllenhaal. Yeah, there's nothing more. He literally couldn't have done any more. He did exactly what he needed to do.
I actually that's my mantra for life, is just do whatever Jake Gyllenhaal does. Like even in real life.
Why do you think I've grown a beard?
Yeah, there you go.
I mean, seriously, like.
Why do you think I starred in the movie Prisoners, man? It's because he did it. See?
Yeah, exactly.
We're all connected.
Why do you think? What direction do you think my life would have gone in without Brokeback Mountain? Hang on. Ooh.
Yeah, but Jake Gyllenhaal's the man. In fairness, he did a lot to win me over. It took him time, but he did it. Yeah, the day after tomorrow was kind of a bad one to fucking talk about.
Yeah, we haven't got very far with that one, but yeah, just do what Jake Gyllenhaal does, and you're fine.
I will say, like,
You're
if
okay.
it were to happen to us here, and we weren't in New York, and we weren't in his position, I know what would happen, because, believe it or not, right, I've seen the day after tomorrow 9 times. That's a fact. Let's just accept it for what it is and move on. Yeah, I know. It's really weird.
Wow.
I don't even like it that much, you know. It just happened that way.
It's just watchable.
Yeah, well, I saw it in the cinema like 5 times, but that's another story for now. I was going out with a girl at the time, and the only place that we could meet was the cinema, because we were like 13. So I picked the longest movie every time, because let's face it, I'm a genius.
Yeah. Yeah, fair play.
But yeah, that was. I remember in the movie that they looked at all the areas of the world that are now not possible to live in, and Britain and Ireland were there, so we would just die in that scenario, pretty much.
Yeah, I'm not surprised, to be honest.
The last one is Tom Hanks movie, where Tom Hanks is such a good method actor that he actually did this in real life for about 4 years before it. He actually got AIDS in real life in order to get into the role of the guy from Philadelphia. Great actor. But yeah, he goes and stays on a, well, no, right, let's just back up here. He's in a plane, and the plane crashes, and he's marooned on a desert island with only a football, which he makes friends with, which is kind of weird but also endearing at the same time, because he's that kind of guy. And he's just, he's just fucking stuck there, and he has a lot of serious decisions to make. And I actually think that we can talk about that. We can do a whole nother topic about what we would do on a desert island. Like, what we would take with us if we say we knew it was gonna happen. Like, I don't know. Let's do that next.
Yeah, the whole you'd take what's your 3 items thing, and then I imagine we'd spend a good 20 minutes laying out the stipulations of what we're allowed to take, and electricity and that kind of thing before we even start on what we'd actually take.
Yeah, we would. Yeah,
laying out the ground rules, as it were.
Let's make that our next episode. But yeah, that in the fictional, Tom Hanks Castaway thing, he made a is it spoiling it? Yeah, it is, isn't it? Really, to say what became of him.
I guess so.
From here, we're gonna kind of spoil what happens in Castaway, and if you're one of the 4 people who hasn't seen Castaway, go and watch it and then come back, or just skip forward.
To be honest, you've had 14 years. Like, we can't give you more time.
Yeah, in all fairness. But and here comes the spoilers, right? But seriously, like, you can't. It's 14. Yeah, we don't have to fucking make allowances for this shit.
Yeah,
we can talk about.
It wasn't released. It wasn't released yesterday.
Yeah, exactly.
I think we're okay.
But he fucking builds himself a raft, and he just goes out into the ocean. He doesn't know exactly where he is or anything like that, but he just fucking goes for it because he can't exist on this island any longer. And that's such a ballsy thing. I would not do that, and I know that you wouldn't either, because we both share the same fear of the ocean. But yeah,
that is one hell of a ballsy move. I mean, like, I can understand where he's coming from in the whole not wanting to be on the island anymore, but I'm not sure any part of me is brave enough to trust in not only going into the ocean without really knowing where I'm going or any real means of propulsion,
but your ability to build a boat.
My ability to build a raft that can sustain the open ocean.
Yeah.
Like, I would make a raft out of like 3 logs and it'd capsize 20 feet out.
Yeah.
And that would be my attempt, and I'd be like, alright, good, I'm staying on the island then. That's sorted.
I think, like, you have to make this decision based on, is my life worth living if I stay on this island, or like, would it be better if I took a chance? Like, maybe I'll die, but it's worth the risk. It's that sort of thing. But I read an article on Cracked the other day about a guy who was actually stranded at sea for 76 days on a life raft, and it was awesome. Like, he explained these things really really well, about how your body change, like, the way that you think about things changes. Like, he thought that he wouldn't be able to do that, but he just became the person who was able to do it, and that's just because you're wired to survive naturally. And I think something like that would have driven you to go out and try it, because that's what I got the impression when I read in the article. He had this really cool part, like this really cool line where he said, like he was lying in the raft. Some nights it was the most beautiful, most serene thing ever because he sees all the stars, and the sky is so bright with stars that he can see everything around him. He can see fish and stuff. And he said it was like a view from heaven, like a view of heaven from a seat in hell. And I thought that was the coolest fucking thing anyone's ever said.
Nice. Yeah.
But yeah, I think just the way that you're wired to survive would, you know, just put you into that frame of mind where you just have to go for it and hope that it works out, really.
Yeah, I think that what it would boil down to for me would be the fact that I'd rather not necessarily live a good life, but say I've set up, you know, a basic shelter. I've found, you know, I can start a fire. I can, you know, I have this little, almost, you know, this basic life now.
Yeah.
I can live, I can survive, and I can, you know, if I'm eating fish, I can survive day in, day out, no problem. You know, and I say no problem, but you know, I think I'd rather stick with that situation than take the chance of floating in the ocean forever.
Yeah, I honestly think I'm the exact same, but I don't know how I'd react if that was it, you know. Like, I feel like I'd rather take a chance, maybe die along the way, but just because there's nothing I couldn't fucking live on a desert island with a football for fucking the rest of my life. Like, fuck that. Sounds like the least entertaining thing ever. Like, that's a whole life wasted there. Like, you know, if you take a chance, even if you die, at least you don't have to spend the rest of your life on a fucking island, you know. That's the way I'd look at it, I think.
Yeah, I mean, rationally I'd be thinking that somebody would come along eventually.
Yeah, actually.
No matter how long it would be, you know, in the world of today.
Yeah.
Rationally, someone would come along eventually. It'd just be a case of waiting it out.
Well, you have to consider that when flight MH310,
MH370.
that's the one. When that went missing, like, Courtney Love found some fucking oil streaks in the ocean on Google Earth, and she thought that she solved it. So, like, you're gonna have people that are doing that now. So you would just write help, but you have to write help backwards so they can read it from the air. That's a Friends joke.
Yeah.
But yeah, you would just try and make it obvious that you're there. That's what I would do anyway, because I have a feeling there'd be a lot of people looking. Well, that makes it sound like I matter so much. Like, all of my subscribers would be looking for me. But yeah, like, people would be looking for.
Yeah, like, just make a massive smokestack, or you know, something that is, you know, I mean, and you'd get into a routine. You know, you wake up, collect firewood for the day. You know, fish for your lunch, breakfast, dinner, that kind of thing. You know, go and pick berries or whatever, take a shit, you know, stuff like that.
The quickest way to ensure you survive, or to ensure that you're found, would be to write "Illuminati have me," and then you would get everybody on the internet, all of the geniuses on the internet that know everything about how the world works, and they would all be like, "Oh, the Illuminati have me.
Illuminati.
I bet the US government is involved in this. It's a conspiracy." That's exactly what would happen. So, we have one more to talk about, which is kind of along the same lines, actually. This is when was it? 2012. This movie?
I think so. Yeah.
It's a movie called Friends with Benefits, and it's starring Justin Timberlake and Mila Kunis, and it takes place in the universe where, well, it takes place in our universe essentially, but Justin Timberlake and Mila Kunis decide to become friends with benefits. Everybody knows what that means. And they go to LA, where Justin Timberlake's family are from, and she meets his dad, and she learns that his brain has been infiltrated by forces that are not necessarily human, and she has to figure out what to do from here. And Justin Timberlake doesn't really know, because it's all under the idea that he's got Alzheimer's, so Justin Timberlake just thinks that his dad has Alzheimer's. But they make a lot of subtle allusions to it in the movie. Like, you know, there's you know, the scene where he's in a restaurant, like you said last time, and he orders a blue whale, and it's supposed to be funny or whatever, but that happens, and Mila Kunis eventually alerts Justin Timberlake to what's going on, and then the rest of the movie takes place in a universe where Justin Timberlake has this thing in his arm with a clock counting down, and when it counts down, he dies, and his whole life is about the number of minutes that he has left, and it's really weird. And Mila Kunis is replaced by Amanda Seyfried, or whatever her name is, and it's really weird how that all worked out. But what would you do in that situation?
I think my first port of call would be to as much as it would pain me, kind of as soon as I am aware that there is not extraterrestrial, but aquatic forces at work with my father, sacrifices have to be made. Got to crack a few eggs to make an omelette.
That's true, yeah.
Got to fry a few shrimp to make a paella. Fuck me, where was that going?
You gotta fry a few brains to kill a sea person.
Yeah, that. So you've kind of got to you've got as much as it'd pain me, you've kind of got to kill your dad. But then, for my life to suddenly change to an episode of Countdown, that's a whole nother barrel of fish.
Yeah, it's crazy how it would all work out.
Yeah, wouldn't it? Isn't it just?
Yeah, but it's one of those things that I don't know. It's really weird because you've got a whole race of a whole area of people that a lot of people aren't really even sure if they exist or not. And you have to make some serious life decisions. Yeah, it's quite a scary thought.
Some pretty serious commitments to this cause, Given the do you take the blue pill and go back into the life of ignorance without knowing about the sea people, or do you lead the resistance? Take the red pill.
Yeah, do you open your eyes to what's really going on?
Yeah, that's the big question I want you to all ask yourselves.
And then answer it in the comment section.
Yeah.
Because I really want to see how you can do that.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're done here. We've raised awareness and found another way to mention Justin Timberlake in our podcast, which is wonderful. Which is our real goal.
I really hope he one day sees the podcast and is suitably creeped out by our level of dedication to our Friends with Benefits.
I know. I hope that happens too.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll leave it here. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. I've been El De Niro.
I've been Jack.
Thanks for coming on the show, Jack.
It's alright, I had fun.
Cool.
Sweet.
Fuck this.
power in the verse can stop me.